Okay. Here we go. Well, every night we pick some books and we read and we live stream it on YouTube so that other people can get some story time too. So tonight we have Dalsandra's cousin Judah with us. So if someone clicks on this right now, they'll see us in real time. That's how that works. Right, buddy? We read through the Bible and now we're going through other books. That's our series that we do each night is we read.
I haven't read.
No? No. Dalsandra. See, we have Dolly over here being silly. Oh, you want more juice? Well, okay. I'll get you more juice and then we'll do our reading, okay? So we'll do that. And then we'll start.
Are you gonna listen to the stories?
Yes.
Yeah, then I want you to put on a shirt.
Okay.
He's very excited about that whole streaming thing. Go get a shirt.
Just put this one on. Was this new tank top over the water?
Almost 5 minutes.
Watch out! You're gonna fall backwards. What's your problem? Ain't nobody pushing you, little liar.
Okay. Here, there's your juice. Dale. Here's your juice. Okay. It's a bit of a crazy house because the whole family is here tonight. So everything's a little up in the air, but you know, that's life. It's better to have the company and have things a little off than to never have family over, you know? So, do you want this juice or not, little boy? Okay, so Judah wants to be part of the live stream, so we're going to wait for him. And then we will read. So, tonight's books, welcome back. Okay, let's move it back a little bit so we can get everybody. Okay, so we can get all of us in there. Okay, good. Okay, even a little Athena. So, tonight, no, she's too little to be Alistair. So our first book will be Happy Hippo, Angry Duck. Then we'll read God Gave Us the World. And we like to make sure we read a Christian book each night. That's important. And then we'll read Yurtle The Turtle and other stories. How's that sound? Does that look a good plan?
I read that book before.
Yurtle The Turtle? Do you like it?
Yeah.
Good.
We get water.
Get water? Okay. A lot of lights on in this house. It's very toasty. Okay. Come sit on down, good sir. As this one jumps around on the couch. So, Happy Hippo, Angry Duck, A Book of Moods by Sandra Blunt. Hello, little person. How are you today? Is your mood quite terrific or only okay? Are you happy as a hippo or angry as a duck? Maybe sad as a chicken. Can you sadly say cluck, cluck?
Yeah.
That's pretty sad. Are you grumpy as a moose or excited as a dog? Worried as a rabbit? Contented as a frog? Perhaps, like a pig, you are sweetly amused. Or perhaps, like a cow, you're completely confused. Those cows, they're always confused, right? I know. You might feel that somehow you've lost all your fizz. or you're frazzled like a frazzled thing. I'm not sure what it is. Well, I hope you are happy, but if you are not, you have friends who will help you. We like you a lot. And a difficult mood is not here to stay. Everyone's mood will change day to day. Unless you're that duck, you're always this way. Did you say Isaiah was the duck?
Yeah.
She's the grumpy duck. All right. Now, God gave us the world. All right. What a beautiful world we live in, Mama Bear said. Just look at all this snow. Little Cub looked around. We always have snow, Mama. Yes, but it's always different. Sometimes it's slushy and sometimes dry. Shimmering sparkles drifting from the sky. But this is my favorite kind of snow. Big fat flakes you can catch with your tongue. Little Cub giggled when she saw Mama trying to catch flakes on her tongue. You look funny. Mama smiled and nudged her with her hip. You do too. I think you have the pinkest polar bear tongue I've ever seen. Ever? Ever. Do all bears have pink tongues? I don't know, Little Cub. God made a whole world full of bears, and we all look a little different. He did? Why'd he do that? Because God is creative. Just like he made all kinds of places to live, he made all kinds of different bears and all kinds of different bear tongues. Whoa, 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 Little Cub said. There are other kind of places to live? Well, sure, Mama said. While the pole is our home, lots of bears live in far different places. Why would they want to do that? Because they like their homes best. It's where God put them. God gave us this great big wide world and a whole bunch of different bears with different fur and different families. Where do those other bears live? I've never seen them. All around the world, Little Cub. Some very far away. Panda bears live in China. All they eat is bamboo. What's bamboo? A kind of tree. They eat trees for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And there are sloth bears in India. They hang from trees and like to eat termites. Bugs, ew. They think they're delicious, and they have the longest tongues you've ever seen, Mama said. Look, there's a bear eating termites. Yeah. Here we are. Grizzly bears live in America. They like to catch fish. Phew, Little Cub said. Finally, another bear who eats normal food. Mama smiled. Even though other bears eat what you might not like, we're all bears. God made us all. God made the whole world and everything in it. Why not make us all the same? We're not all the same on the inside, are we? Some of us are quiet, others loud. Some of us like to move fast, and others take their time. I think it's fun that God made us all bears, but all special too. Don't those other bears miss snow? Little Cub asked. Do you miss the sand of the desert? Or the big green leaves of the rainforest? We love what we know because it's home to us. Every bear has a special place in God's great big world. Why not put us all here? Why not make us all polar bears? Oh, there wouldn't be room here for all of us. And the world reflects God's work, how big, big, big he is. God can do anything, and if he's capable of anything, why would he make us all polar bears? The whole world is like a mirror of God's work, Little Cub. Out of all the places he could have put us, he chose this world, Earth, to be our home. He made it just for us. God gave us this special world and every creature in it. Why did he do that? Put us on Earth, I mean. Because he's the creator. Can you imagine your grandma not cooking something new? Or your grandpa not working on a new birdhouse in his shop? God created our world and everything in it because it's in his nature to create. Understanding that is part of why he put us here, to serve and worship him, our amazing God, who gave us this amazing world. Do you remember when he created it? Mama laughed. Our world is older than anyone can remember. It's older than my great-grandmother's great-grandmother. Whoa, that's old. Like that huge old tree in the forest. Older. It must be very strong. Very strong, and yet fragile, too. We have to take care of our world. It's God's gift to us. He'd be sad if we hurt it. God might get mad if we hurt our world, the cub said. I get mad when the twins hurt my stuff. Yes, I understand that, Mama said, picking her up. We don't want to make God mad or sad. We want him to smile. We want to take care of this world he gave us. Do you think we'll ever meet the other bears? Maybe someday. It's a big world and constantly changing. It'd be fun to know more bears, wouldn't it? Maybe a panda bear will come on an iceberg and bring us some bamboo. Mama laughed. It's always good to make new friends, try new things, and know more about this world that God gave us. Little Cub went to sleep that night, thinking about the stars and the sky and her special world. She thought of other little bears falling to sleep in forests and caves and jungles, and she was glad that God had made her, little her, to be one of the bears in it. You like that one? Is that okay? So? Yeah. All right. And now, Yurtle the Turtle. Are you coming back or are you done?
Done.
You're done? Okay. Well, we lost one, but that's okay. Yurtle the Turtle. Yurtle the Turtle and other stories. And since we lost him, let's bring this in more so we can get close to us, right? There we go. Okay. Yurtle the Turtle and other stories. On the faraway island of Salomon Sound, Yurtle the Turtle, the king, was king of the pond. A nice little pond. It was clean. It was neat. The water was warm. There was plenty to eat. The turtles had everything turtles might need, and they were all happy, quite happy indeed. They were until Yurtle, the king of them all, decided the kingdom he ruled was too small. I'm ruler, said Yurtle, of all that I see, but I don't see enough, and that's the trouble with me. With a stone for a throne, I look down on my pond, with a stone but I cannot look down on the places beyond. This throne that I sit on is too low down. It ought to be higher, he said with a frown. If I could sit high, how much greater I'd be. What a king, I'd be ruler of all I could see. Athena. All right, girl. She's not used to the new people in the house. It's okay, baby. Yeah, good girl. It's okay. Yeah, no. So Yurtle the Turtle King lifted his hand, and Yurtle the Turtle King gave a command. He ordered 9 turtles to swim to his stone, and using these turtles, he built a new throne. He made each turtle stand on one another's back, and he piled them all up in a 9-turtle stack. And then Yurtle climbed up. He sat down on the pile. What a wonderful view. He could see most a mile. All mine, Yurtle cried. Oh, the things I now rule. I'm king of a cow, and I'm king of a mule. I'm king of a house, and what's more, beyond that, I'm king of a blueberry bush and a cat. I'm Yurtle the Turtle, oh marvelous me, for I am the ruler of all that I see. And all through that morning, he sat there up high, saying over and over, what a great king am I, until long about noon, then he heard a faint sigh. What's that? Snapped the king, and he looked down the stack, and he saw at the bottom a turtle named Mac. Just a part of his throne, and this plain little turtle looked up and he said, beg your pardon, King Yurtle. I have pains in my back and my shoulders and knees. How long must we stand here, your majesty, please? Could you turn the page so I can read while I eat your leg? Yep, good stuff. Silence, the king of the turtles barked back. I'm king and you're only a turtle named Mac. You stay in your place while I sit here and rule. I'm king of a cow and I'm king of a mule. I'm king of a house and a bush and a cat. But that isn't all, I'll do better than that. My throne shall be higher, his royal voice thundered. So pile up more turtles, I want about 200. Turtles, more turtles, he bellowed and brayed. And the turtles way down in the pond were afraid. They trembled, they shook, but they came, they obeyed. From all over the pond, they came swimming by dozens, whole families of turtles with uncles and cousins. And all of them stepped on the head of poor Mac. One after another, they climbed up the stack. Then Yurtle the Turtle was perched up so high he could see 40 miles from his throne in the sky. Hooray, shouted Yurtle, I'm the king of the trees. I'm the king of the birds and I'm king of the bees. I'm king of the butterflies, king of the air. Ah me, what a throne, what a wonderful chair. I'm Yurtle the Turtle, oh marvelous me, for I am the ruler of all that I see. Then again from below in the great heavy stack came a groan from that plain little turtle named Mac. Your Majesty, please, I don't like to complain, but down here below you're feeling great pain. I know up on top you are seeing great sights, but down at the bottom we too should have rights. We turtles can't stand it, our shells will all crack. Besides, we need food, we are starving, groaned Mac. You hush up your mouth, howled the mighty King Yurtle. You've no right to talk to the world's highest turtle. I rule from the clouds, over land, over sea. Nothing, no nothing. There's nothing, no nothing that's higher than me. But while he was shouting, he saw with surprise that the moon of the evening was starting to rise up over his head in the darkening skies. What's that? Snorted Yurtle. Say, what is that thing that dares to be higher than Yurtle the king? I shall not allow it. I'll go higher still. I'll build my throne higher. I can and I will. I'll call some more turtles. I'll stack them to heaven. I need about 5,607. It's very specific. But as Yurtle the Turtle King lifted his hand and started to order and give the command, that plain little turtle below in the stack, that plain little turtle whose name was just Mac, decided he'd taken enough, and he had. And that plain little lad got a little bit mad, and that plain little Mac did a plain little thing. He burped, and his burp shook the throne of the king. And Yurtle the Turtle, the king of the trees, and the king of the air, and the birds and the bees, the king of a house and a cow and a mule, well, that was the end of the Turtle King's rule. For Yurtle, the king of all Salamasong, fell off his high throne and fell plunk in the pond. And today the great Yurtle, that marvelous he, is king of the mud, that is all he can see. And the turtles, of course, all the turtles are free, as turtles and maybe all creatures should be. Gertrude McFuzz. There once was a girl bird named Gertrude McFuzz, and she had the smallest plain tail ever was. One droopy droop feather, that's all that she had. And oh, that one feather made Gertrude so sad. For there was another young bird that she knew, a fancy young birdie named Lallaliloo. And instead of one feather behind, she had two. Poor Gertrude, wherever she happened to spy Miss Lallaliloo flying by in the sky, she got very jealous. She frowned, she pouted. Then one day she got awfully mad and she shouted, that this just isn't fair. I have one, she has two. I must have a tail like Lallaliloo. So she flew to her uncle, a doctor named Drake, whose office was high in a tree by the lake. And she cried, Uncle Doctor, oh please, do you know of some kind of a pill that will make my tail grow? Tut, tut, said the doctor, such talk, how absurd. Your tail is just right for your kind of a bird. Then Gertrude had tantrums. She raised such a din that finally her uncle, the doctor, gave in. And he told her just where she could find such a pill, on a pillberry vine on the top of a hill. Oh, thank you, chirped Gertrude McFuzz, and she flew right straight to the hill where the pillberry grew. Yes, there was the vine, and as soon as she saw it, she plucked off a berry. She started to gnaw it. It tasted just awful, almost made her sick, but she wanted that tail, so she swallowed it quick. and she felt something happen. She felt a small twitch, as if she'd been tapped down behind by a switch. And Gertrude looked round, and she cheered. It was true. 2 feathers, exactly like La La Loo. Then she got an idea. Now I know what I'll do. I'll grow a tail better than La La Loo. It's never a good idea. These pills that grow feathers are working just fine. So she nibbled another one off of the vine. She felt a new twitch, and then Gertrude yelled, "Whee, Miss Lala's only just 2. I have 3. When Lala Loo sees this beautiful stuff, she'll fall right down flat on her face. Sure enough, I'll show her who's pretty. I certainly will. I'll make my tail even prettier still." Athena. She snatched at the berries that grew on that vine. She gobbled down 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And she didn't stop eating young Gertrude McFuzz till she'd eaten 3 dozen. That's all that there was. Then the feathers popped out. The zang, the zing. They blossomed like flowers that bloom in the spring. All fit for a queen. What a sight to behold. They sparkled like diamonds and gumdrops and gold. Like silk, like spaghetti. Athena. Like satin, like lace. They burst out like rockets all over the place. They waved in the air and they swished it in the breeze. And some were as long as the branches of trees. And still they kept growing. They popped and they popped until long about sundown. And finally they stopped. And now, giggled Gertrude, the next thing to do is to fly right straight home and show Lala Loo. And when Lala sees these, why her face will get red. And she'll let out a scream and she'll fall right down dead. Then she spread out her wings to take off from the ground. But with all of those feathers, she weighed 90 pounds. She yanked and she pulled and she let out a squawk. But that bird couldn't fly, couldn't run, couldn't walk. And all through that night, she was stuck on that hill. And Gertrude McFuzz might be stuck up there still. If her good Uncle Dag hadn't heard that girl yell, he rushed to her rescue and brought along help. To lift Gertrude up almost broke all their beaks. And to fly her back home, it took almost 2 weeks. And then it took almost another week more to pull out those feathers. My Gertrude was sore. And finally, when all of the pulling was done, Gertrude behind her again had just one. That one little feather she had as a starter. But now that's enough, because now she is smarter. The big brag. The rabbit felt mighty important that day on top of the hill in the sun where he lay. He felt so important up on that hill that he started in bragging to animals will. And he boasted out loud as he threw at his chest, "Of all the beasts in the world, I'm the best. On land and on sea, even up in the sky, no animal lives who is better than I." "What's that?" growled a voice that was terribly rough. "Now why do you say such ridiculous stuff?" The rabbit looked down and he saw a big bear. "I'm the best of the beasts," said the bear, and so there. "You're not," snapped the rabbit. "I'm better than you." "Pooh," the bear snorted. "Again I say pooh. You talk mighty big, Mr. Rabbit, that's true. But how can you prove it? Just what can you do?" Thought the rabbit. "Now what can I do?" He thought and he thought. Then he finally said, "Mr. Bear, do you see these 2 ears on my head? My ears are so keen and so sharp and so fine. No ears in the world can hear further than mine." "Harumph," the bear grunted. He looked at each ear. "You say they are good," said the bear with a sneer. "But how do I know just how far they can hear?" "I'll prove," said the rabbit. "My ears are the best. You sit there and watch me, and I'll prove it by test." Then he stiffened his ears till they both stood up and pointed up, straight up at the blue of the sky. He stretched his ears open as wide as he could. "Shh, I'm listening," he said as he stood. He listened so hard that he started to sweat, and the fur on his ears and his forehead got wet. Athena, it's okay. We let them in the house. It's okay, baby. For 7 long minutes he stood. Then he stirred, and he said to the bear, do you know what I heard? Do you see that far mountain? It's 90 miles off. There's a fly on that mountain. I just heard him cough. Now the cough of a fly, sir, is quite hard to hear when he's 90 miles off, but I heard it quite clear. So you see, bragged the rabbit, it's perfectly true that my ears are the best, so I'm better than you. The bear for a moment just sulked as he sat, for he knew that his ears couldn't hear things like that. This rabbit, he thought, made a fool out of me. Now I've got to prove that I'm better than he. So he said to the rabbit, you hear pretty well. You can hear 90 miles, but how far can you smell? I am the greatest of smellers, he bragged. See my nose? This nose on my face is the finest that grows. My nose can smell anything, both far and near. With my nose, I can smell twice as far as you hear. You can't, snapped the rabbit. I can, growled the bear, and he stuck his big nose way up in the air. He wiggled that nose, and he sniffed and he snuffed. He waggled that nose, and he whiffed and he whuffed. For more than 10 minutes, he snapped and he snuffed. Then he said to the rabbit, I've smelled far enough. All right, said the rabbit, come on now and tell exactly how far is the smell that you smell. Oh, I'm smelling a very far smell, said the bear. Away past that fly on that mountain over there, I'm smelling past many great mountains beyond 600 miles more to the edge of a pond. And way out there by the pond you can see is a very small farm, and on the farm is a tree, and on the tree is a branch, and on the branch is a nest, a very small nest where 2 tiny eggs rest. 2 hummingbird eggs, only half an inch long. But my nose, said the bear, is so wonderfully strong. My nose is so good that I smell without fail. But the egg on the left is a little bit stale. And that is a thing that no rabbit can do. So you see, the bear boasted, I'm better than you. My smell is so keen that it just can't be beat. What's that? Called a voice from way down by his feet. The bear and the rabbit looked down at the sound, and they saw an old worm crawling out of the ground. Now, boys, said the worm, you've been bragging a lot. You both think you're great, but I think you're not. You're not half as good as a fellow like me. You hear and you smell, but how far can you see? Now, I'm here to prove to you big boasting guys that your nose and your eyes aren't as good as my eyes. Oh, shush. And the little old worm cocked his head to one side, and he opened his eyes, and he opened them wide. And they looked far away with a strange sort of stare, as if they were burning 2 holes in the air. The eyes of that worm almost popped out of his head. He stared half an hour until his eyelids got red. That's enough, growled the bear. Tell the rabbit and me, how far did you look? And just what did you see? Well, boys, the worm answered, that look that I took was a look that looked farther than you'll ever look. Merry Christmas? Okay, but shh, we're reading. I looked across the ocean, way out to Japan, for I can see farther than anyone can. There's no one on earth who has eyesight that's finer. I looked past Japan, and I looked across China. I looked across Egypt, and took a quick glance across the 2 countries of Holland and France. Then I looked across England and also Brazil. But I didn't stop there. I looked much farther still. And I kept right on looking and looking until I'd looked around the world and right back to this hill. And I saw on this hill, since my eyesight's so keen, the 2 biggest fools that have ever been seen. And the fools that I saw were none other than you, who seem to have nothing else better to do than sit here and argue who's better than who. Then the little old worm gave his head a small jerk, and he dived in his hole and went back to his work. And that's it for tonight. So I went a little bit longer. We're about 10 minutes longer than normal, but we've got guests and things are a little wonky. I don't know if we will do it again tomorrow. I'd like to, and also Sunday, but we'll have our guests. So I'm gonna schedule it, and then we'll see if we do it again tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. And if we don't, I always post a little video, so at least you guys get something, and you'll know why there isn't a stream. But I think that's it for tonight. Can you say goodnight, darling? Can you say Merry Christmas? No, we're not going to say anything. All right. Well, that's exciting. All right. Good night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow, hopefully.